I tried to think of about 5 different ways that I could present this video to give you all of the information you need for acquiring all of the different harvestables, especially from the ores and mineral deposits you will find around the Illuvium universe. However, I couldn't think of the best way to do it until now. I figured instead of just telling you all the information, going through a bunch of stats that I could come up with and all the rest of it, I would actually show you the best way to use these strategies in practice. And I've already set it all up for us. We're going to go through this as a really simple tutorial, but first, let's take a look at a document that someone found in a YouTube video a very long time ago. I don't believe this was mine. I don't believe it is official, but from my experience, this has been quite accurate. So we're going to go over this really quickly. Let me just bring this up. Oh, wait, gotta hide that. All right. So here is the document right here. Now, this is from a very old YouTube video. And I don't even know how they got the graphics because lazerit did not used to be green from memory, and Geodin definitely did not look like that. So I don't know how old this is. This might even be before the overworld first came out. But you can see here that there are 6 main types of resources. As many of you will know, in private beta 2 and 3, we also had things like albite resource and things like that as well. So there have been more than this. However, in this instance, we've got 6 major ones, and these are actually the only 6 resources that are in private beta 4, so by complete fluke, it seems like we come full circle into this system again. Helio Agate, which gets you a lot of different gems, Tectonic Neovite, which gets you a lot of different ores, Seismic Quartz for shards, and then Bismuth, Geodin, and Lazerit for those 3 respectively. And what you might not have noticed in the actual game is that this is represented as well. If we look at the game and we go to the map, you can see that if I remove the heat map, I've found a lot of different resources on the map already in preparation for this video. But here's what's crazy. You will notice that the names will actually appear. You have to run quite close to these to get it to appear. But the names will actually appear when you hover over each resource. Why this is really interesting is because I was trying for the longest time to figure out the green one means this, the white one means this. Because of the different lighting effects and all that sort of stuff, I feel like they've just half randomized it. Now, green usually always means lazerit, but sometimes I'll walk past a white or one with like a bluish hue, and it will say lazerit in the map menu. So I find that even though they all look like they should be certain things, sometimes you just cannot tell. I don't know if that's lighting a different issue or there's a bug or whatever, but sometimes you just cannot tell. Yellow and green are both consistent, but the white and light bluish colored ones, I have no idea what they could be half the time. And maybe it's just that the light blue ones can be anything. I have no idea. So as we go through this, I'm going to show you my strategy. Now, you want to decide on what you want to mine. You want to... Oh my god, I died. I think I died to a morphopod. That's really funny. So what you want to first decide on is what you want to mine for. Today, I'm going to go for shards, but I'll cover all 3 off. If you want to go for a regular ores, I would hunt down all of the Geodin deposits and go straight for them. If you really want to go for gems, which I don't know why you would want to do it so desperately, you definitely have to look for the bismuth deposits. Let's see if I can find one. I'm sure I walked past some. They're typically the yellow ones. There is a bismuth right there. You'll want to go for the bismuth deposits in that case. And if you want to go for shards, I highly recommend going for lazerit. But let's start off this really interesting. I actually managed to find a seismic quartz deposit while I was preparing for this video. So let's go and have a look at that one first. With these deposits, obviously, the other thing you can do is equip the drone equipment that will reduce the cost to mine resources and maybe to scan them. Although the scan cost in this case is only 20, and so that's not that useful. But force of habit, I really like scanning these things first. In theory, the seismic quartz should have a lot of shards. It looks like it's going to, but I have actually mined quite a few seismic quartz in my time during PB4 so far. Once, insanely amazing. Once, it was pure ores. Another time, it was like a little bit half-half, but mostly ores. And this time, we might get mostly shards. So let's find out. As you extract it, it'll take about 5 tries, but it tends to be worth it. It tends to have really high quality shards. For those of you that haven't noticed already, I am in a stage 3 abyssal basin. For mining different things, I recommend probably Crimson Waste. Things are more tightly packed there, or Brightland Steps if you're really familiar with the movement and you have a lot of those upgrades. But if you don't have a lot of those upgrades, Crimson Waste might be your best bet. but I personally love Abyssal Basin, and if you're going for gems, you're actually going to want to go to the region that's going to best support that. As I said here, it seems like maybe this is the ore one. They might have switched around what all these do, but with 2 shards in it, I like to think it's the shards one, and I just got decently unlucky. Hopefully a resplendent is in one of those hidden spots. Fingers crossed.
I'll use it.
Only 2 rares. And whatever this last one is. Unbelievable. Alright, that is really unfortunate. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to highlight all of the lazerite deposits because that's what I'm going for. All you got to do is you got to find one and then left click it. No, right click it, sorry. Left click's normal. You want to right click all the lazerite deposits. You also, when you find a large cohort of deposits, or if you've traveled a really large distance, you might want to drop a waypoint while using the T key. There's bismuth. I might as well get the bismuths as well because there aren't that many of them. The hard part is actually identifying these. It's particularly hard in Crimson Waste, but things are a little bit more spread out here, and so it's not too bad. I made sure to drop I thought I dropped a wayfind over here because there are a lot of deposits. There are quite a few over here as well. Geodin. Okay. Unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot. Let's just see if there were many near me. There was one. So we'll get the one that's right next to me, and then I'll probably teleport in the bottom right, and we'll continue and grab all of the lazerite deposits. Alright, so 134 meters. Obviously, you can catch these at a distance. And I should find that I get mostly shards out of these. You can see that one looks kind of white. I got an epic shard out of that lazerite deposit. There's none over here, and so I'll spawn to this large cohort down the bottom here. Oh, and if you find a big rock like the seismic quartz I had, you definitely want to drop a waypoint over there. 2 rare shards and an uncommon shard. You can see the system works. If any of you really care about the overworld leaderboard, this could probably be really helpful for that as well. Unfortunately, I died before because I was actually going to start in this area. So now I've got to run all the way back to it, but it shouldn't take me too long at all. I might shoot some of these rocks on the way. There aren't enough lazerite to expend all my energy. That one's going to be giving me galvium and rubidium. Shoot that one. You can see that one kind of has a green hue at a distance, but up close it kind of looks a little bit blue. It's really hard to tell. I got a rare shard and an epic shard from that one. Highly efficient so far. And now... seems to be only 2 lazerites left, and they're over here. Hard to tell if they're closer to the thing, to the obelisk than they are to me. And it takes a little bit of work, but when this sort of stuff costs real money, you're going to want to make sure to maximize your money efficiently. And shards are clearly very important in the game, especially since they break now. And so for something like shards, you want to make sure that you're getting as many of them as possible every single time you enter a stage 3 area. At least that's what I personally believe you should be trying to do. Here's another one. I got an epic shard and a resplendent shard out of that one. I'll shoot this white. That's not going to have, maybe won't have any shards. I would say that the next highest chance at shards is generally going to be the white rocks and not the yellow ones. But these are going to have gems in them. Except for that one. But they normally have gems, I promise. So now what we can do is we can actually teleport back to this spot and just snag all these geodines. And then we can do whatever else we've got to do. Maybe we want to capture a bunch of alluvials or whatever else. Well, let's see if we can't capture these and then see what the overall haul is. And maybe assess just how many shards are coming out of them. Good thing about exploring the map first is you can now make it efficient on where you want to go to shoot all these things. Got Talvium. Palladium, Rubidium. A resplendent shard, so there's that. Let's see how many resplendent shards we get from the whites. The white rocks, that is. We got an uncommon shard. You can also see that the quality of shards that do come out of them, I know we got a resplendent shard, but I would say that it's typically lower. Even though you do get them sometimes, they are not going to be... We pretty much got straight rares, a few epics, and a resplendent from all of the lazerite deposits. So you can see proof of that right here. There were 2 rocks here. I remember these two, because I ran all the way over to them. We got Palladium, Rubidium, uncommon nature gem. You can see the quality of gems and things and stuff is lower as well. You'll find your epic gems and stuff will come from the bismuth deposits. There was one over here. Where the hell is it? There we go. There's a bismuth. You can see it's quite yellow. And we got 2 rare nature gems. You can see they really give the gems. I told you they did. The other part of this strategy is since you're exploring so much, you can actually place your waypoints right near the Ergon Rifts. I believe they get hidden from the map when the ring starts to close. And so by putting waypoints there, you can guarantee access to them. No shards. No shards. That didn't even give me anything. Okay. Maybe it did. Maybe that was just a weird bug. I didn't even know that was possible. And that is all of the ores that I found. There was one I missed here, clearly. The other thing you can do is you can toggle on a lot of the other harvestables that you might want to get. I got 2 rare shards from that white rock, so quite lucky. The other thing is sometimes you might like certain ones. Personally, I love 2 in particular. I love the dragon eggs and the flint caps. There's a flint cap. No dragon eggs. Weird. Maybe they appear more in Crimson Wastes. And yeah, so I'm not going to bore you with this anymore, but I hope you guys learned something about harvesting ores, shards, and all the rest of it, and the best ways to maximize your money in the Illuvium Overworld.